So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of our Monday Mindset. This is part 2 of a 3-part series we're doing called Best Year Ever. And what it is it's a goal planning success workshop for 2022 to go ahead and knock it out of the park and get your entire year planned in 3 short weeks. So, I'm going to go ahead and start with a quote, which we always do. And let me put this in slideshow mode. There we go. All right. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about our quote by Mr. Tony Robbins. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into visible. Dreams are not enough. I used to dream. I used to want things. I used to tell myself I was going to do something, but I never broke it down. I never created goals, and I stumbled to get there. The minute I started creating goals, I started achieving them. And when I started achieving them, I started seeing my vision, my dream turn into reality. So Mr. Robbins is aptly quoted here, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. So last week, if you missed last week, that's okay. There is a replay. In fact, I created a course out of this. So if you haven't signed up, go sign up. I'll get you the resources. And there's going to be a couple bonuses and surprises for you along the way through 2022. So last week, we talked about SMART goals. And just to recap, SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and of course, time-bound. And what that means is very simple. We don't just put out goals that don't mean anything. We put out goals that are really hyper specific. And so I asked you to fill out a worksheet, and I'm going to bring that back up for you guys. And if I can get all of my stuff working here together, let me jump in. And we'll get into our SMART goals. So we had a worksheet last week. We talked about, again, if you missed last week, that's okay. You can go back and get this. But S stands for specific. Your goal should be clear and specific. Clear and specific. So what do I want to accomplish? Why is this goal important? Who's involved in it? Where's it located? Which resources or limits are involved? Hyper specific. It also needed to be measurable. How much or how many? Especially if I'm talking about revenue or time. How will I know when it is accomplished? Like, what's the measure that says this is done and in the bag? Is this measure easy to understand? And is it clear and concise? So we need it to be SMART, measurable. We also need it to be achievable. Achievable, how can I accomplish this goal? How realistic is the goal based on other constraints, such as my own financial well-being and other things? Will I be able to make time for this goal? And is this goal too unattainable? Now, I don't want you to make excuses on the A part of the SMART goal, meaning, oh, I don't have time for this. If it's important enough, make time. And that's important. It should be relevant. Your goal should be clear and specific, and it should be relevant. It should be worthwhile. Now should be the right time for this. Obviously, in the middle of COVID, opening up a kids' play gym was probably not a good idea. So it wouldn't have been relevant at the time. Am I the right person? Is it applicable? And then finally, time bound. When will I do this? 6 months, 6 days, 6 weeks, today? When is this goal going to happen? So those measures, that SMART, I asked you to fill this out and not worry about creating the overarching SMART goal statement, because we're going to do that today. And so when you look at and you wrote down in the blanks here all the different things about your goal, the next step is to put it together into what we will call, and let me grab that real quick. And this is called our SMART goal. So I have an example here of a SMART goal. So a SMART goal takes everything we just talked about and puts it together. Now, here's a non-SMART goal. Remember, here's a goal that's not SMART. I'm simply going to make more money next year. Anyone think that's smart at all? And you guys more than welcome to comment. This is a little bit different than our normal Monday mindset. You guys can make comments in the chat, all sorts of stuff. So anyone think that's a smart goal? I'm just going to make some more money in 2022. I'm going to make more money than I did last year. Not specific enough. Exactly, Dale. The goal is not specific enough. So when we think about 2022, using the worksheet from last week, using everything we learned from last week, how do we make this goal hyper specific, right? How do we make this goal hyper specific? So notice the goal I created, and it's not my goal, it's just a goal. I will spend 10 hours each week working on my business, implementing lead generation and sales strategies, and building processes that help me deliver without me doing the work that increase my monthly revenue to 8.5K per month so that I can be a 7-figure per year business by the end of 2022. That's pretty dang specific, isn't it? I will spend 10 hours each week. So I've set a goal. I'm spending 10 hours every single week during 2022 working on my business, not in my business, not working on websites, not working on SEO, not creating logos, not making assignments to my people. This is working on my business. Doing what? Implementing lead generation. So I'm going to go out and try to generate more leads. I'm going to work on sales strategies, increasing and making my sales better so I can have a better ROI, a better conversion rate. And finally, building processes that help me deliver without me doing the work. Why are those things important? They're actually things that I can go do. Now, I need to make them much more measurable, but I didn't want my SMART goal statement to be a mile long. And then finally, then increase my monthly revenue to 8.5K per month so that I can become a 7-figure business per year by the end of 2022. So in this goal, I'm not saying that I personally want to make, X number of dollars next year. I was saying in this goal, and you can change it to however you want, I want to reach 8.5K per month of revenue by the end of 2022. Okay, my monthly revenue. And if you want to take it a step further, that increase my monthly, maybe you say the word recurring revenue to 8.5K per month, right? However you want to do it. It's your goal. And that's what's key to it, right? It's your goal. So has anyone finished your worksheet from last week? If so, let me know in the chat. If you've shared it somewhere, let me know where you've shared it and we can take a look at it. I said I was going to do this. I checked in Facebook this morning a couple hours ago. I did not see anyone upload their goal worksheet. So therefore, I'm going to have to assume nobody did the work. Now, I get it. Christmas, the holidays, you guys are busy. Here's the thing. Every time you put something off and it doesn't get done, you've lost time in achieving your goals. You want to make sure you don't put this off. Put off watching TV, put off going to the gym, put off doing anything else, but do not put off your success planning. Once you create the plan, I assure you it's much easier to then follow along and make sure everything happens. Because if you don't, you're going to get to the end of 2022 and you're going to be disappointed. You're not going to reach your goal and you'll have nobody to blame but yourself. And I know that sounds rough. It sounds tough, but that's what I needed way back in the day when I wasn't doing these things. I needed someone to kick me in the butt and tell me your future is controlled only by one person. And that's you, me. I am my own destiny. I am my own future. Only I can get up every day and decide to do something. So thinking about that, let's take a look. I'm going to jump back to our PowerPoints here. I don't think we'll follow it too much today, but I do want to just kind of go to the next slide. All right. So we already said we have to make a SMART goal statement. We take what we did last week in that worksheet, we put it all together, spend some time, spend an hour, come up with a SMART goal statement that summarizes your year. Here's what we don't want. I want to make more money in 2022. That's not a SMART goal. In fact, what's going to happen is you're going to really fail. And the reason being, I want to make more money in 2022. More money than what? More money than last year? $1 more? I mean, what's the goal? So again, here's the goal that I wrote down. I will spend 10 hours each week working on my business, implementing lead generation and sales strategies, and building processes that help me deliver without me doing the work. Big in that goal. That increase my monthly revenue to $8.5K per month so that I can be a 7-figure per year business by the end of 2022. Why did I pick this to show you as an example? Most people, and I'm sorry, this should be 6-figure. I apologize. Most people want to break that 100K mark if they haven't already. Now, if you want to go higher than that, you're just going to adjust accordingly, right? And we're going to see that in a minute. Today, we're going to get into the goals and really get around looking at the goal. So most people who want to earn 6 figures, by the way, that's $8.5K per month. But you might want to say increase my monthly. And again, I am making a change right now. Increase my monthly recurring revenue to $8.5K per month. Why do we want to increase recurring revenue? Because that's money that generates every month and we don't have to keep going out and selling. So we'll look at that in a minute. All right, so that's our SMART goal. So how do we get there? How do we go from that SMART goal to reaching those goals? How do we do that? It's simple. We break each goal, each item in that statement, each thing we want to accomplish into smaller, more attainable goals and activities. And I know this sounds daunting, like, oh my gosh, I got to do all this planning. If we do all the work now, all we have to do is execute against it, and it's going to feel so much easier. The smaller we can break down these goals, the better. So that brings me to my next worksheet. Let's take a look, and I'm going to go ahead and give this to you guys after we finish. And the reason I give it to you after is I want you to look at this and understand it and pay attention, but I don't want you to get in there and start playing and not paying attention. So as soon as we end today, I'm going to put this up. By the way, all the resources are going to go into the course I created. So in the back end, if you're not signed up, do sign up. It's called BYE, Best Year Ever. I have a link to it out there. I'll also put it in the store so you guys can find it as well. So here's the spreadsheet. And I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see. This is the spreadsheet I created for you. And it is, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. When you actually go to print this, so if I come in here and I tried to print it, you're going to see that this prints on 4 pages. If you want to print it out. If you don't want to print it out, I don't suggest you do. You can actually fill this out electronically. I have even created, anywhere there's math, I've created the formulas for you so you don't even have to do the math. But I want you to do what you can to fill out each and every section. And I'm going to go over them today. So we said what our goal was. But now I want to know, why is this goal important? Why is this goal important? What are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? So for instance, why is this goal important? So I can reduce the hours I work each week to 40, because most of you guys are probably working more than that, in order to spend more time with my family. I might even get more granular, that like saying with my family, going on trips, boating, fishing, and enjoying each other, whatever. I would make it so hyper specific. Like, Why is this important? I want to attend my kids' graduation. I want to go to recitals. I want to go to soccer games. I just want to play board games with my kids. I want to play board games with my spouse. Seems weird, right? I took time off over the holidays, and what was the number one thing that I wanted to do? That. We played some board games, and that's the kind of stuff I miss a lot, just having that time together, having fun, laughing, having a few cocktails and doing something. So that's why I like to get my time back. In the summer, I love to fish. I love to go boating. We go jet skiing. We go to our lake place, stuff like that. We take trips when there's not COVID or Omicron. So why is the goal important? Hugely specific as much as you can. Then, when do I want to complete it by? And by the way, the worksheet I give you, it gives you a blank one for you to fill out. And on the second tab, notice I have the word example. Now, these aren't my specific personal goals, obviously, and this one, I apologize, that should say 6-figure, at least to align with this particular goal. These aren't my specific goals, but they're the kind of things that I plan on every year. And I think making 6 figures, making mid 6 figures, whatever you want it to be, it's a personal decision. When do you want to complete this goal by? Now, most of us, it's going to be 12/31/22. Me, I normally want my goals done by 11/15. Now, I don't know if you guys saw me do that this year. If you're in any of my programs, you guys saw I like to end programs. I like to be at a certain point. I like to complete my goals by the 15th of November every single year, so I can take the next 6 weeks to decompress, relax, and reset my goals for the next year. So it's up to you when you want to complete it by. Me personally, I do them by mid-November. The next thing I want you to ask yourself is what resources or skills I'm going to need and who is going to get them for me. So if you're a one-man person, you're just you in your business, you might need to get lead gen methods and skills. Maybe you're not good at lead gen. Maybe you need to bone up on lead gen. Maybe you need to find new lead gen methods. Whatever it is, be hyper specific. Who needs to make this happen? It might not be you. In my world, it's not always me in my goals. And when do you want it to happen by? Now you can put quarters, you can put a specific date. It's up to you. If you put Q1, it's probably end of Q1. So that's probably going to be March, 31st. Q2, it's going to be June 30th, whatever. Totally up to you. Notice that I said sales process and skills. Very important for most people to scale their business. Not only am I talking about sales in terms of being a better salesperson, but working on your closing ratio, working on your technique, working on what you say to people, how you talk to people, learning different sales strategies and methods. Those are important. Maybe you need some contractors. And so you're going to work on bringing on contractors. Maybe you need processes before. Maybe you switch this, right? So maybe you take this one and you say, okay, this is going to be processes because I can't hire without the processes, right? Chicken and the eggs. And this is going to be contractors. Again, make it what you want. If you're not printing this out, add, come here, right click, insert, and insert as many rows as you want. If you're printing it out, it'll start getting messy when you go to print it. So I would just take another sheet and start doing that. So you need to know the resources or the skills needed. Let's identify that today. Let's identify that this week. Dale asked, how many SMART goals are reasonable to break out like this? Is it one main goal to break out, or can you have multiple? Dale, great question. I love how you think. I tend to put my overarching goal in a SMART goal, in one big giant SMART goal. And then in the little pieces, I have what I would call my sub goals that I'm trying to do, because I'm usually trying to hit, a number of leads. I'm usually trying to hit a revenue goal, et cetera. I'm probably going to put that together, but honestly, there's no limit. I wouldn't be against you guys doing 2 or 3 of these. just don't give yourself so many goals, so many things to do that it's unattainable. That's key, right? That's key. And let me jump back to the PowerPoint because I want to show you why. I did put together a slide, okay? So I'm going to go to this slide real quick, and we're going to cover this slide, breaking it down. These are tips. Number one, set reasonable goals. If we don't reach our goals, we're going to get that feeling of failure. We're going to feel overwhelmed. We're going to feel like, we don't want to keep going. When we break it down, when we create tiny little steps, tiny little goals, when they're reasonable and attainable, it actually helps us do more, because the better we do and the more we accomplish, the more we want to keep going, right? And that's what this sheet should be. You're going to see there's a bunch of check marks. Why? Because after you've seen so many and you're checking off boxes, do you really want to break the cycle? Do you want to break the streak? You won't. But if you see a lot of empty boxes where you're not attaining things and you're not checking off boxes, you're going to get discouraged. So I think, Dale, my answer would be reasonably 1 or 2. Start with that, see how it goes, maybe create another one, Q2, right? But get some momentum. And then breaking down your plan, dates and deadlines, right? If you have a big overarching annual plan, you're going to see here in a minute, I want you to break that into quarters or months or different periods with smaller attainable things. Again, you can check off, done, done, done. Honestly, it really gives us encouragement to keep going. And then tip number 3, if you guys are in any of my programs, you've heard this before, revenue first. We have, I don't know why, a bad trait as business owners. We tend to go put out fires first and not focus on our business. Oh, a client just called, they need this form. Can it wait? Because you should be focused on your revenue activities first in the day and then get to the other stuff later. Do you have to answer that customer right then, that second? Nope. But yet we do. I do it too. So revenue first. Stay focused on those rev gen activities, right? Because if you don't, they won't get done. As you go through the day, ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now going to make me money? If the answer is no, stop doing it. And what do I mean by that? Oh, I think I'm going to clean my office. Okay, that's great. Did you get your revenue generating activities done? Oh, I'll do it after. No, you won't. I won't. I'm tired by then. I'll do it tomorrow. You know what? Clean the office tomorrow. Do the rev gen first. Then tomorrow comes and I say, I really need to dust my office. Let me get my rev gen stuff first. I don't care if the dust gets this thick, if that's what needs to happen for success, right? Because as I succeed, I'll hire someone to come in and clean my office. That's the key. All right. So break things down. Break things down. And let me get back to, I want to show you guys what I mean by that. So we use a word called traction. So it's agency fast track actions, right? Traction. So what do I want to have happen? All right. In Q1, I'd like to generate 25 leads a month. Man, if I could get to 25 leads a month, that would be phenomenal in Q1. Perfect. Let's go for that. Now, remember, it's still December. So I need to hit it hard in January, first week of January, to try to, in the first month, get 25 leads. And then in Q2, I want 30 leads a month. Q3, I want 35 leads a month. Q4, I want 40 leads a month. And I know right now, for some of you guys not getting any leads, it seems big. We're going to be showing you ways, depending on what programs you're in with us, depending on, where you are in your activities, you will see the different leads, the lead gen methods. For example, in our new course, Agency Fast Track, got to admit some people, Agency Fast Track Revenue Systems, we actually have a cold email lead gen we're starting and showing you guys. And there's no limit. There's not a monetary value on that. So it's very cheap to do. You should be able to get 25 leads. If you send out business letters, I show you guys how to do that. If you don't have access to that, let me know. I send them out. I've got a bunch sitting over here in my office, right to my right. And we're going to be sending those out for a second, third, fourth week of January, and then repeating on a monthly basis for the first 4 months of 2022. Why? To really kick up our leads. We need more leads. Notice I also set some traction goals, some traction actions, whatever you want to call them. In the first, and this should be, let me get this right for you guys. Q2, Q3, Q4, right? So Q1, 3K in revenue per month. Notice I didn't say recurring. Man, I just want to make $3,000 that month. That might be your goal. So every month in Q1, I want to make $3,000 a month. Again, adjust these accordingly based on where you are today. Maybe Q2, I want to make $4,000 a month. By then I should have my other stuff going. I want to get 6K per month, right? And then 8.5K per month by Q4, right? These are just what you want. And then there's a couple extra spaces. Again, write out as much as you want, then come back and hyper focus on what you think can be done. Notice there's check marks. Lead gen methods and skills done, check it. 25 leads a month, did it, check it. All these checks, right? Put X's, put checks, do whatever you want. There's no way to actually check this. So I would just put a big old X there, that I've done it or whatever. So do whatever you want, print them out and write on them, whatever works for you. Dale asked, what is a reasonable conversion percentage on leads into clients when you are A, starting out, B, more seasoned? I'm going to table that, Dale, because we're going to get to that in a little bit. Because I am going to, honestly, I set goals for that. I set specific goals even for my conversion ratio. Why? Because if I need to get better at sales to increase everyone thinks getting more leads is the answer. No, closing more sales is the answer for a sales problem. Getting more leads is the answer for a lead gen problem. Don't confuse the two, but we'll get to those numbers in a minute. So let me table that. Okay, on this worksheet, I also have a little bit more for you, right? Believe in yourself. I can't stress to you enough how much you should believe in yourself, because you are the person that's got to believe in you. If you don't believe in you, why should I? Why should your spouse? Why should your kids, your parents? You have to believe in you. So I want you to make a statement right here. I know I am going to be successful because, don't make this activity-based. Make this belief-based, because I believe it's 100% achievable, and I will do everything in my power to succeed in meeting these goals in 2022. Make the statement, whatever you want to write there. And don't forget this block right here. Negative thoughts are likely going to be the biggest obstacle you have. Man, I'm not reaching my goals. I should just quit. Stop that. Right? Don't do it, because right here, I want you to affirm. I want you to come here. And if you have to read these every single day, I want you to do it. I will set clear and realistic goals. I will be positive in everything I do. I will act even when I'm afraid. I will surround myself with positive people. I will believe in me and my business. I will seek help when I need it. I will practice patience and discipline. I will rely on my support systems. And we're going to have the report system here in a minute. I will plan my work. I will work my plan. I will stay focused and on task. I will take time for myself. I will ask for help when I need it. This is important. Write down whatever affirmations you want to say every day. Add to this, change this. If you have to, read this every single day. Don't let someone else tell you anything negative, because don't believe it. Believe in yourself. Don't believe in other people. Believe in yourself. Don't believe what other people say. When you need support, I want you also to write down who Who is going to support you? The number one person on your sheet should be me. I'm here. If you talk to any of our students, you talk to our community, I'm here. I support people. I do the best I can. Can I do one-on-one support with you in some of our programs? Yes, we have that. In others, no, it's going to have to be in a group situation. My wife or husband, right? Maybe every week I want to sit down and chat. My fellow agency fast track members, we have Skype groups. Join them. Get involved on the Facebook community. Get into client acquisition and scaling if you're not already. And then whoever else is going to be your success support system. These are going to be the people you go to when you're feeling negative. These are going to be the same people you go to share your wins. Nothing worse than keeping all those wins inside. Share them. And you'll notice lots of affirmation statements on these sheets. Expect to succeed. Expect it. Each success leads to big change. And then I just have a couple of monthly checks here, January through December. Have I met my goals? Yes or no? Just yes or no. Now, we talked about breaking things down into smaller pieces. The only way we can do that is, of course, by having, and you go up here to the, this is sheet 2, right? Page 2. I'm going to create some quarterly goals. Then when we have the quarterly goals on the next sheet, we're going to break those down into monthly goals. So first, let's break it down by the quarter. I'm going to break down just revenue goals. Again, you can make as many of these as you want. You can change them to make them different things. These are examples. Don't just stick with what I give you. You could probably change this and make it your own. So monthly revenue goals Q1. Notice I'm a website designer, SEO, logo designer, and now I sell high level. So with that in mind, those are the 4 primary services that I actually offer. Now there's some ancillary products and other products that make me money, but I'm not going to put them down here. Instead, these are my main products that are one-time service or recurring services. And notice website, it's a one-time. Excuse me, there's hosting that comes with that, but I'm not putting that up here. There's SEO, there's logo design, and HL, high level accounts. I'm going to put in here the average price. So 3,000 is my average website. 1,000 is my lowest SEO monthly. 497 is our logo, and 197 is our high level. Then I'm going to say on Q1, for this goal to reach my goals, I said 3K in any type of revenue in the first quarter. So I need to sell 1 website. So because this, remember, this is a quarter, you got to divide by 3. I put 0.33 because that would give me one $3,000 website for the quarter. Seems weird to do it that way, but it's a calculator. That's how it works. And then for SEO, I'm going to sell no SEO in the first quarter. Now, again, these goals are built for someone who really hasn't achieved much and is trying to start out. For those of you guys that are past that, you're just going to change these accordingly. So SEO, $1,000, we're going to say none of those. Logos, $497. I just want to sell 3 of them per month, per quarter. Just 3, 9 total for the first quarter. Now, I personally have a get in the door method to sell logos, and that's my print your way in the door, my business, new business letters, things like that. I have a method to sell logos. If you don't sell logos, don't put that here. Change it to what you're trying to sell. But that's my get in the door is logos when people first start their business. Okay. So I want to sell 3 of those. I also want to sell high level accounts for $197 a month. Now, again, I'm going to have a lead generation method just for that, because I don't think I'd be able to convert my whole, 10 leads here to get 3 accounts out of them. So I've got to come up with a new lead gen here, which I have. So these are my monthly goals. This is what I would make monthly. And of course, this was I would make in the quarter. Remember, this is just an example. I went on to fill this out for Q2. Same thing. I want to sell just one website, but now I want to try to get one SEO customer in the next 3 months. So in the first 6 months of that year, just one SEO customer. I want you guys to knock these goals out of the water, but I want you to be realistic. And if you're brand new, and this is what this example kind of is, be realistic. Again, just 3 logos, but I want to sell six high-level accounts. The reason being is I don't want a ton of logo design. Instead, I want to meet people that might need my high-level accounts, or I want to go find people that already have businesses. They don't need websites. They don't need logos, but I can get them on a high-level account. So again, I have to have the correct lead generation methods to do these things. So 6 of those. And then again, that brings me a little over the 4,000 I was trying to make, 12,000 for the quarter. Same thing in Q3. Now I want one website per month. Different. I just jumped up from 1 a quarter to 1 a month. Again, you can play with these numbers, do what you want to do, but you're trying to reach your goal. Okay. And then same here, I'm trying to get, and this is actually 2 for the quarter. So I'm trying to get 2 SEO contracts this quarter. So in 3-month period, still only getting 3 logos. You might get more, but now I want 8 high-level accounts. If you haven't figured it out, what I'm trying to do is make my 2 recurring revenue pieces higher, but not really trying to do a bunch of other work. That's the key. And then in month 4, same idea, 3 for the quarter. And then on SEO, now I'm trying to get 2 per month. So that would make 6 for the quarter, right? So that's a lot. That's a lofty goal. I want $6,000 a month. Now remember, I'm just putting this as an average. What if you sold at $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month or $2,500 a month? Possible, 100% possible. And at the end of this call, I'm going to remind you, if once you get your goals, if you don't know how to make this happen, many of you are already in our programs, you know you have the tools to make it happen. For those of you that aren't, I encourage you to schedule a one-on-one with me. Let's see what program's best for you. Let's get you in a program, because this is the way I approach everything. And I will teach you and show you and help you succeed. So now we see at the end of each of the periods, we have definitely reached our goals, right? Now the year-end revenue is not 100,000, but in this scenario, we just wanted to get to where by the end of 2022, our monthly revenue is pretty much going to get us, see, 25K per quarter times 4 is 100K. It didn't happen at first because, let's be honest, we're not ready for it to happen yet. Going from 0 to 100K in a year is a lofty goal. And yes, I hope you crush it and do more than this. But if you're at 0 today, be realistic. If you're at 100 today, 250 is not a bad goal. If you're at 250, 500 is not a bad goal. If you're at 500, 750 is not a bad goal. If you're at 750, $1 million is a great goal, right? Most people think, oh, I'm at $1 million. Next year, I want to make 2. How about going from $1 million to $1.5 million, right? Be realistic, unless you know you have the ability and you're willing to work hard to get there. And the work hard is the hardest part. So one thing that I do, and I want to show you guys this, because this is something I've done for the longest time. Plan to win, see the win, believe the win, and you will win. Plan it, see it, believe it. Plan it, see it, believe it, and you will win. This is something I've done for a long time, from pretty much the start of my business. I would write how many of each type of recurring revenue account I wanted. And as I attained them, I would fill it out and I would keep a running total. I still do this today, just so you know. This is something I still do today. I keep the running total. Let me zoom out just a hair for you guys so you can see that there. So Maybe I want $197 high-level accounts. Maybe I want 11. And by the way, if you add all this up, by the end, I want to have 11 and 2. So there's 11 and 2. If in the end, I have 11 high-level accounts and 2 SEO accounts. And by the way, if you're getting this many each particular month, you're going to have more than what I'm showing you here. But as you reach it, I write down everything I'm trying to achieve. And then as I achieve it, I come back to my spreadsheet and I make it actual. Oh, sold another one, 12. Sold one of these, 1. Sold one of these, 1. Because what it's doing is it's really encouraging, right? So let's say my hosting, if I've got 45 hosting accounts, yeah, it's only $2,000 a month, but hosting, that is the most passive income you can have. And as I see my monthly revenue and my yearly revenue go up, guess what? I don't have to go out and sell more websites and sell more logos and sell more stuff that takes a lot of work to do, right? High level hosting. Notice they're on the top. Why? Because they're the least work for me. SEO is great, but there's still a lot of work and money and resources involved. These are the things I really want to build my business around. And there's more stuff than that. But you get the idea. As you go, you start adding. Okay, I did 5, I did 3, right? And your revenue keeps going up. So I'm going to reset this so you have a clean sheet when you guys get this. Okay. So again, I'm filling this out. This is more of a live as I go. Live as I go. Okay. Now, the next 2 sheets are really your monthly goals. And we're going to address Dale's question. Dale asked, what's a reasonable conversion percentage on leads into clients when you are starting out and more seasoned? So let's look at what I put down. We said we were going to get 25 leads in January, February, March. Then we were going to get 30 in April, May, June. Now up here, these are all your goals, except for this one down here, which is actual, they're goals. Down here, you start getting into, this is exactly what I want to have happen every month. In January, I want 25 leads. I would like a closing ratio of about 28%. It's not unreasonable, Dale, when you're first starting out. If you have the right skills, which I know for a fact are in a couple of our programs, well, 3, I think, you have the tools. You actually have the tools to get a 28% closing. Yes, you want this higher. My closing ratio is about the 70-75% mark. That's where I'm at. If you guys were on Monday Mindset a few weeks back and I was talking about a gym that I was romancing, hired us. We were picked 1 out of the 3 they were looking at. There was another company looking at 3 companies. We were picked 1 out of 3. You'll get better and better as you go. You'll get better and better as you go. So 28% is actually pretty low. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. If you get 25 leads, you should be able to make 7 sales. If not, guess what you have to work on? You have to work on your sales skills, your closing skills. Maybe the offer's not right. Maybe you're not showing the value correctly. We don't need to go get a bunch more leads. We need to close more sales. Notice I don't up these leads by tons. Just a little bit, because as you go, I want you to get better. So notice, and this entire strategy to me is very realistic for a newbie, right? We start with 25 leads, close 7, that's a 28%. Our revenue would be 3,000 or more for the month. Our monthly recurring revenue out of that is 600. So if the first month we make 600, technically, if we roll that, and I haven't done that in this calculator, when you join some of our programs, and Dale, I know, you have this calculator where you roll it, right? I'm just giving the basic overview right now. And then the next month, same thing. The next month, the same thing. Technically, you would have more than 600. You would have 1,800 of recurring revenue by the 3rd month if every month you had 600 added in recurring revenue. We're not doing that right now. Again, I didn't want to overcomplicate this. We have an entire course that goes through this and helps you guys, sell and get leads and do all this stuff. So revert back, if you're in that course, revert back to the calculator where I actually have the rolling Go back to that one. And I have the rolling 2%, 3%, 4%, and every month you're getting a little higher, and we're rolling the recurring over. We have a calculator for that. Okay, in April, we up our game. We get 30 leads. We want to convert higher. So we want to convert 37% of them because we should be better at our game. And then we're going to make 4,000 for the month, 1,500 in recurring revenue if we can. Each particular month, we add that to our bottom line. And trust me, if you actually did everything in here, you would be making way more money than I'm showing because I did not add in your recurring revenue as a rolling scale. And then over here, same thing. Your leads will be 35. You'll close 37%. Look, I didn't even up you. I left it, at the same closing ratio. Again, I'm trying to be very realistic here. We want goals we can meet, not goals that are going to kick our butt. And then by October, November, December, 40 leads, close at 43%, et cetera. Is the 3,000 in January per sale or 3,000 for the 7 sales? This is the total. If you go back up here to January, this is pretty much the total per month for January. So I said right around 3,000 per month. I rounded when I put it down here, Dale. So this is 3,000 per month total revenue. Out of that 3,000, if we come look up here, the only things that were recurring were the high level accounts, no SEO. So it was right around 600 of recurring. Now, the truth is that 600 should roll, meaning they're paying 197 a month. So month 2, when you add 6 high level accounts, you really have the 3 from the previous, plus you're adding 3 more. I was trying to simplify this calculator because, as you guys know, you have to go through the program. We have tons of, build up to get here. I just want you guys to start thinking through this. For those of you guys who have never planned before, this is a lot. We're here to help you. Reach out to me and we'll get you into one of our programs. Trust me, the money it costs to get in our program, it'll pay for itself 10 times over when you actually meet some of these goals and do what we show you how to do. All right, so notice I also down here created, well, this one should say January, and this is why I don't give you guys the sheets ahead of time because I find all the mistakes while we're doing it. All right, so in January, that's where we start saying, okay, what is the granular goal, right? I want to learn X lead gen method. In January, I want to learn 1 lead gen method. Maybe it's cold email. Maybe it's the new business letters. Maybe it's something you got from somewhere else. But in January, I want in the first week, I'm telling myself, I will make the time. It's a revenue generating activity. I will make the time to learn this new lead gen method. Now, if you can't do it by the first week, then don't put the date of the first week there. These are just examples. And then I want to learn some sales process that will close more deals. Again, if you can't do that here, man, put it down here. Okay, put it down there. Just put them where, whoops, I'm getting kind of crazy there. We just thought I was going to get this right. There we go. Now put this down here then, and make this. I'll put this back down here then, and we'll move this up here. That's why I personally like to use the spreadsheet instead of printing these out, because then I can move things around. And maybe this is by 228, right? So you're saying in January, and maybe I make this too soon, so maybe I make this 121, whatever. I want to learn, maybe new business letter lead gen method to get logo design clients, whatever, right? Whatever you're trying to learn, you put that there. What is it? Because remember, when it's tight revenue or fulfillment, which one would you focus on? Well, I'm going to make sure my revenue stuff gets done way before I worry about my fulfillment. Yes, we need fulfillment, but at the end of the day, revenue comes first, always in my world, always. Rev gen activities come first, period. All right, so you guys get the idea of how we would do this. Maybe in February, you take this and you repeat it, right? So maybe, instead of finding a web designer, I say learn cold email lead gen to get high level clients, right? And that's a revenue generating activity. And I do that instead of finding a web developer. Maybe I don't even find a web developer until, way down here, right? Find a web developer. It just depends. Again, that's why you're trying to break this down. What am I going after first? What am I going to try to get done? What do I need to do? Because we can't do it all. And if we don't have, notice January, February, March, April, May, June, and then when you come over to the other side, guess what's over there? July through December, right? So if our goal is to get 25 leads and we don't have a way to get leads, that's number one, because without leads, we can't make sales. Without sales, we can't close, can't make revenue. So number one is leads. And so my activities might have to shift because I need to go ahead and get lead gen method to get logo design, lead gen method to get high level, learn a sales process that will close more deals. That's kind of vague. Over here, I'm trying to find logo design customers. So I got to find a logo designer. And then maybe here, where is this? Here is the process for logo design. Maybe I decide I want to move that in here. Can't do that. Hold on. See, my skills are not what they should be. You guys get the idea. So maybe I put that build process for logo design here. And then whatever was before here, learn a sales process, right? That's not as important. And then maybe here it's build a sales process for logo design, whatever it is. Again, I'm spitballing here. So these are not perfect, right? Now, building a sales process is a fulfillment thing. It's definitely not a revenue. This is a fulfillment thing, not a revenue. You want to be succinct at what each thing is, right? So notice I'm building out what I'm going to do. Now, I personally am a hard worker. I don't work very much in my agency anymore because I got that all figured out to run on its own. So what am I doing now? Well, I'm coming up with the high level stuff and I'm going into a new venture and I'm double dipping. So I'm building a course for you guys and I'm implementing it in my business and really ramping that up. So a lot of my goals are going to be around that. That's what my goals are going to be around. So that's what you got to keep in mind. What are you going to do January, February, March? Now, you don't have to fill out every month today or, you can go quarter by quarter when it comes to monthly. And I want you to adjust your goals accordingly. But what I don't want you to do is give yourself permission to not meet your goals. Don't do it. If you get to February and you're not closing 7 sales or you're not getting 25 leads, you have to find resources to help you do that. Sometimes that means spending money, right? I'm not a saint. I don't do these free programs so you guys will say thank you. I do these free programs so I can show you what we're made of and show you the type of ways we teach our students so you'll join one of our programs. It's a means to an end for me, but it's a means to an end for you as well. Okay, I'm going to hit save so I don't forget. So that is your goal this week. Now, I know you're not going to be able to probably fill out all of this by next week, but I want you to try. If you haven't filled out last week's, I want you to start there first. If you haven't watched last week's session, you didn't make it, go watch the replay. Where you're going to find this stuff is I have links out there, and if you need it, hit me up. If you need it, hit me up. I'll show you my contact information in a minute. I want you to reach out to me and I will get you into the program because we actually created a course now for this, just so it's easier to disseminate the information to you guys and for you guys to comment and things like that. So I'm going to jump back to my PowerPoint so I can show you where to find that. Here are the sheets. I just happen to make them pretty. So I'm going to end with this quote. If you don't know where you're going, you will probably end up somewhere else. That was my first several years in business. I didn't have a plan. I didn't break it down. And I did well, but I could have done so much better. So if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably end up somewhere else. So if you don't know me, if you guys, this is your first time here, obviously, this is me, you're seeing me live. But if you want to get in touch with me, lisa@aftxs.com. Notice I give you my direct email. I don't run you through support or anything like that. However, if you do want support on a product or a program, do email support@aftxs.com. You can also reach me on Skype at Portside MKT. This is my Skype ID. If you're not in the program, you don't have the link, let me know. This is a free course, best year ever, BYE. It's absolutely free for you guys. Go through it as many times as you want. You go through it next year, the year after. I do the same goal planning every single year without fail. I set up my goals. I decide what I'm going to make. I decide what I'm going to do. I decide what activities I'm going to spend my time on. And then I execute. And that is how I've been able to build such a successful organization, open up more businesses, and just really be hyper successful. It's not because I'm working a ton of hours. In fact, I work less hours now than I did before. And that's the key. We're going to work smart, not hard. Nothing wrong with hard work. I'm not knocking it, but we want to be smart. So these sessions are a little bit different. I will answer any questions you guys have. I know we're at the top of the hour, and I do promise to only keep this to an hour or less. But if you have questions, do put them in the chat. I'll answer any you might have right now. Otherwise, you can send any questions or any requests to lisa@aftxs.com or my Skype address. Now, for those of you who are not in one of my programs, I highly encourage you to contact me for a strategy session. And we'll sit down. I'll talk about where you are in your business. I'll tell you about our programs. You tell me what you're looking to accomplish. If it fits, great. I'll tell you about it. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Maybe I've helped you solidify your plan. All right, guys, hopefully you had an amazing holiday, but you're pumped and ready for 2022. I am taking this week off. I'm actually not doing a lot of work this week. I'm enjoying myself and doing a bunch of stuff because I've already done my goal planning. I did my goal planning back in November. I did it the couple weeks right at the ends and into the first week of December. So I actually have time off and I'm going to enjoy it. Hopefully, if you have time off, enjoy yours. You can do this planning, the first week of January too. Take time for yourselves. Enjoy. Have an amazing new year. Not seeing any questions, and let you guys go. Thanks everyone for coming. Let me know what you guys need. Happy New Year, everyone.